Hello everyone, my name is Kwamea Ross and this video has no title. Now, I had a conversation with someone who said that people don't like my videos, and my reaction to that is, if you don't like it, then there's a simple solution. Don't watch them. I mean, here's the thing. I put out content that is geared towards a specific demographic. I make my videos with a specific target in mind, who I want to reach. And if you find that my content isn't suitable for you, or it's something that you can't relate to or enjoy, then why continue to come back and watch it? That's my thing. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of subscribers on, there's a lot of YouTubers and people making content that you can go to their videos and watch it and be happy. My thing is, people don't like my videos, but they continue to watch it because there is some validity in these videos and they're being convicted by it and they don't like that. You see, when I first started making these videos, I wanted to have a voice. I want to have a voice for myself and for others like me who did not have any power, who could not speak out, who have been made victims. You see, when I was a small child, I was bullied and teased in school. I was rejected by my family and I was mistreated by pretty much everyone. And I was always made to feel like powerless. It's like I was in a situation where people could do whatever they wanted to me and there was nothing I could do to speak out for myself because I was very timid, I was shy, and I was quiet. And I had been made to feel as if I was inadequate and insignificant. As a result of that, I developed a very strong skin. I know you've heard that terminology before, which means that I have gotten to the point where I have this inner strength where I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what people think. And that's why I can continue to make these videos despite people slandering me and saying I'm crazy or trying to persuade me not to make these videos. I mean, most people think that even after having her children take from her that she would stop making these videos. I've had many people approach me, why don't you stop making the videos? Even my own family have said those things. Why don't you stop making the videos? But here's my thing. If I'm being victimized and I'm being put in a situation that is unjust, shouldn't I have a right to speak out about it? Why should I be bullied into being silent? Why should I be bullied into being silenced by anyone? If there's things that are happening and people like myself don't have anyone to advocate for us because we're seen as trivial, we're seen as either poor or crazy, or we're looked down upon, people like me. I was sitting in court about a few days ago, Friday, and you know, the prosecutor and the supervisor, people who gave testimonies, were bringing up things that happened back in 1998. And they really wanted to make me feel bad, saying that you don't have any of your children. Out of all 4 of your children, you don't have any of them. Or you lost your children back in 1998. Do you know how old I was in 1998? I was a 17-year-old girl. And yes, I came from a family where my father introduced me to pornography at an early age. I've told the story many times. My father wasn't a good role model in my life at all. You know, he wasn't barely there. Okay, so I didn't have this situation where I lived in a house with 2 loving parents who taught me well and were a great example for me. We lived in dire poverty, and it was a dysfunctional situation. And so as a result, you know, our reactions and sometimes how we become is reflected by the life that we live and the things that we're exposed to at a young age. And I was exposed to porn at a young age, way before I was supposed to. And as a result, yes, I became promiscuous and I became a teenage mother. And I was an irresponsible teenage mother because I was not ready to have children. I was very young. What 17 or 18-year-old girl can have a child? I was breastfeeding at 15 years old with my first kid. And yes, that's something that most people look at and say, oh, that's horrible and this and that, and judge you. But, you know, I can tell this story without being ashamed because I know that I have grown and matured emotionally and mentally and spiritually. I came to a place where I did the right thing by accepting God and coming back to Him and repenting of my sins and asking Him to help me and change me. I didn't stay that type of person. And the thing is, people have been allowed to use these things from my past, from over 20 years ago, in a court of law and hold that against me, even though I'm no longer that person. And they've been able to victimize me, pretty much do whatever they want to me. And so the reason why I made these videos is because I want to tell my side of the story. I didn't want people to keep looking at me and saying Kwamea is who everybody else says who she is, because the world has their opinion of me. But truly, do they know me? Does any of them know me? Have any of them ever tried to know me? A lot of the time, these people sending forth these accusations, they never even had a full conversation with me to even understand me. They don't care. This is what they do. And so I had a voice, and I was not going to be victimized and bullied into stopping making videos. Because here's the thing. If you've had an injustice happen to you in your life, you'd want someone to correct it. You want something to be done about it. I've been sitting in situations where I go to work and I would become violently ill every time I go to this job. I've been in jobs where I would get headaches, where I wouldn't be able to turn on my computer, it would shut on and off. I've been in situations where I had to run back and forth to the bathroom and become violently ill with diarrhea and feeling like I had to vomit. I'd become extremely nauseated. I've had my children sit in classrooms where they would have headaches whenever they go into a specific classroom. I've had situations where my children would have stomach pains and no one can understand why. My children have had constant seizures and no one could give an explanation of why. I've had situations where we were ostracized and rejected by people in our family, and where God had to tell me, you're living this way because so-and-so did this to you. So-and-so put this out on you and put curses on you. And this is why I talk about it. I share my story. It's just as if a person who had been victimized by sexual abuse and they were abused at a young age, or someone took advantage of them, and they want to talk about it now and stand up for other victims who feel that they don't have the courage to speak out. Why is it celebrated when people speak out about, sexual abuse, or they're being discriminated against for being a lesbian or a homosexual? But the moment someone speaks out about their oppression and persecution as a result of someone doing things to them, committing things spiritually against them, using spells and witchcraft, you want to say, oh, she's crazy or she has a problem, and be upset. Well, that's one of the reasons why I continue to speak out, because I've been made my entire life to feel as if I had no power over any situation, and that people who were in bigger power, people who had a louder voice, people who had more friends, people who were more liked, people who had more money, could do whatever they want to me, and I had to be silent about it and not speak up. This is my outlet and my avenue of speaking up. And hopefully what I wanted to pretty much induce with this, and the result I wanted to see, was others to speak out as well. See, you can't be a victim all of your life. You can't have it one way and say, oh, we don't like abuse of children, but then you can use witchcraft to abuse children. It's the same thing. You can't say that crime, you need to go to jail for committing a crime, but then you commit a crime in the spiritual realm and think that this is okay. People have to look at their own actions. There's no justification for it. Crime is crime. Abuse is abuse. Sin is sin. When you do these things to people, you're still hurting other people. You see, I've been sitting here, like I told my story before, because of these attacks that I received on jobs, because of the situation where every time I would work, something would happen to my vehicle, or every avenue I would use, I could not any longer work because of, the oppression that I was facing as a result of actions that people were committing against me. It's like I was forced to sit in a house with absolutely nothing. I was forced, and the only way I could fight back was by making these videos to bring awareness to it. And you see, people want sympathy when they're going through a situation. I can remember when COVID first happened back in 2020, and a lot of the children had to sit at home. They had to homeschool, and parents were talking about how, it was an outrage and their kids were becoming depressed, and they had concerns for their children's mental health. People were losing their jobs and losing their business, and they want everyone to feel sorrowful and sympathy for them. But they did not see the people who spent a lifetime living this way because of the actions of others. See, my situation, I've been living in way before COVID pandemic occurred, and I could not get any help for it as a result of it. And yes, I sit here and expose myself on the internet to strangers because I want to get my word across, and because God used me to speak out for people who are experiencing the same things I was experiencing. And we don't want to be bullied any longer. And I shouldn't have to be bullied. I should not have to be silenced. I should be allowed to tell my story. And that's why I know that God is going to avenge me. That one day will come where he will avenge those who have been mistreated and persecuted at the hands of those who are unjust. And that's all I had to say. Thank you.